Ordeal of franchisees from the retail food group who say they were sold a dud, then bled dry. Now the former top executives of the franchise company have faced the mother of all grillings in Canberra.
Privilege, I reject the assertions that have been made. Privilege, it's an improper question.
It could be the most comical performance ever witnessed at a parliamentary inquiry.
Privilege, no insight or recollection. Privilege, absolutely no insight to be able to answer that question.
Leaving those who lost everything seething.
It just makes you feel ill inside. It makes you want to just grab them and shake them.
We've never seen anything before like it.
Privilege, I can provide no further insight.
His name is Tony Alford, a corporate bigwig whose mansion is fit for a king, but has hundreds of hard-working Aussies wanting answers on why their businesses went bust.
I had to take everything out of our own life savings. My in-laws, their accounts, my kids' accounts.
Robert Verney is one of hundreds of Aussies left rueing the day they bought franchises with Retail Food Group, owner of brands like Michelle's Patisserie, Brumbies, Gloria Jeans and Donut King. It was a decision that cost many of them everything they owned.
They basically have taken away your soul.
Along the way, Retail Food Group shed $400 million worth of assets, its share price plummeting from $7.65 to just 40 cents. It's one of many scandals to plague the franchise industry, prompting Parliament to launch an inquiry into the Franchising Code of Conduct. Last night, its star witness faced the music, Retail Food Group's former CEO, Tony Alford.
Can you recall what the average annual turnover for RFG was in those days, back in 2000?
Privilege, I cannot.
Can you recall what the turnover was of RFG when you concluded in 2017 as a director?
Privilege, no.
Can you recall at any stage the annual turnover of RFG?
Privilege, no.
And you were CEO?
Privilege, correct.
Tony Alford uses the word privilege every single time he speaks. He claimed it was on legal advice to avoid future prosecution, even though the entire inquiry is already covered by parliamentary privilege.
The word privilege that is articulated at the beginning of each of the sentences has no meaning to me in the context of this hearing.
Not right.
So I don't know who advised you of that, but I would advise Mr Alford that it doesn't mean anything.
Privilege, my advice with respect is that I should use the term privilege prior to responding to any questions.
And so he did.
Privilege.
Over and over and over again.
Privilege, privilege.
Tony Alford went all the way to the High Court trying to avoid this appearance, but once in the box, did his very best to provide the very least he could.
It's a very straightforward question, Mr Alford.
Privilege, I can provide no further insight.
Well, you've provided no insight at all, Mr Alford.
At times, the exchanges became heated.
I said it's not helpful to be snide. That's what I said. So,
who are you referring to?
Mr Alford, that is an outrageous slur to a sitting member here on this committee.
I apologise and withdraw.
We have to, fight you through the High Court to get you here to answer the questions in the first place. You're the last one who should be calling people snide.
And so it went on for 3 long hours, even getting to the stage where he wanted to direct the questions too.
Privilege, respectfully request that the question is rephrased.
Mr Alford, did you not understand the question? I asked the questions. Do you need it rephrased because you don't understand it?
Privilege, yes.
At one point, even telling senators and MPs their questions were wrong.
Privilege, the question proceeds under a false premise. However...
Please, Mr Alford, I'm asking you not to critique the questions any further and just answer them.
Alongside him, another former RFG executive, Alicia Atkinson.
Ms Atkinson, what happened to these stores eventually? They fall over, did they?
Privilege. Not sure what you mean by fall over.
Oh, sorry, I'm just a broken down old bushy. But when the business falls over, we can say belly up, tits up, fall over, whatever. It goes broke. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
Privilege.
She denies ever being in a domestic relationship with Tony Alford, but the two own so many properties together, they were unable to give an exact figure.
They've got nothing. They've lost their houses, they've lost everything. But you and Miss Atkinson hold property of such number that you can't even answer a question about how many you've got.
We have lost the business. We've lost our houses, pretty much lost over $1 million between us all.
Paul Rubini is a former RFG franchisee who couldn't quite believe what he saw.
It is disrespectful. It will break everybody's hearts if they get away with this.
It seemed like they went there with the intention of not really assisting the committee.
Michael Fraser is from Franchise Redress, one of the groups who pushed for a parliamentary inquiry into the franchising industry.
This conduct will come out, it will be exposed, and at some point you will have to answer.
Privilege, I repeat, the answer I've just given, which is yes.
Thank you for the answer. I feel privileged.
The inquiry's final report is expected to be handed down on the 6th of December. When we come